comedian ever has spoken about the difference between men and women. Nobody has ever spoken about that. Like, take for example, Henny Youngman, please. Anyway, not too long ago in my office, a young lady got engaged, and women came from near and far, jumping up and down, screaming hysterically. I didn't know whether it was an engagement or a shoe sale. And it's funny, with guys, it's different. A guy gets engaged, his friends shake his hand, give him a little chuck on the shoulder, wish him well, kind of like they're sending him off on a suicide mission. And when my son got engaged, I gave him a fatherly hug, I shook his hand, and I said to him, "Son, remember this day forever, because you will never be right again." Now, it's interesting with women, as they get older, what they look for in a man changes. So, for example, a young woman might go out with a guy because he's got a nice car. An old woman, I'm sorry, not an old woman, I take that back. A woman of a certain age might go out with a guy because he can drive at night. A young woman might go out with a guy because he takes her to fine restaurants. A woman of a certain age might go out with a guy because he knows where all the good early birds are. A woman of a certain age might go out with a guy, take that back, I'm jumping ahead of myself. A young woman might go out with a guy because he remembers all their special occasions. A woman of a certain age might go out with a guy because he remembers her name. And then there's the young woman who goes out with a guy because he dresses well, and the woman of a certain age who will go out with a guy because he can dress himself. And you know, it's funny, men are very vain. You know, there are 80-year-old men that still think they can score with a 25-year-old woman. And a bit of advice for that 80-year-old guy who's got his eye on that 25-year-old blonde next door. Buddy, unless you got a whole load of money, your chances of scoring with that 25-year-old are about the same as you winning a lottery without buying a lottery ticket. Now, for me, yeah, I'm getting older. I've seen 25 more than a couple of times. But the thing that changes for me is the foods that I can eat. So there are some things that I used to love that I can't love anymore. So I'm just going to give you an idea of what a traffic report would sound like in my digestive tract.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a backup in the lower intestine. Seems like we have a disabled banana backing up traffic for miles. And ladies and gentlemen, just a word of warning, Dulcolax assistants won't be here for at least several hours, so avoid the area if you can. Also, for tomorrow, this stupid son of a bitch is going to a wine and cheese party, even though he's lactose intolerant. So there will be a high wind warning, and traffic will be moving at a very high speed. But you know, I still think I have a cast iron stomach. Like tonight, I wanted Indian food for dinner, and my wife said to me, you know, I don't know if that's such a good idea for you to have Indian food. And I said, don't worry about it. I can still eat just about anything except bananas. So we went and we had Indian food, and it was pretty good. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And it was, hey, Tony, the men's room still working? Okay, I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen.